the dreaded R word. Residency, it's often described as, something to get through or really suffer through. It is by far the most difficult stage of your training to become a physician. It's going to push you in just about every way. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, I'm not going to use this video to tell you that it's not hard or there's a way to make it easy. There just isn't. It's very challenging. The best way to think of it is as a boot camp that you signed up for. But a lot of people will make the mistake of thinking of it as some period of time that you just have to endure, and then on the other side, it's just sunshine and rainbows. And it's understandable why people might think that way, but it's just a bit of an incomplete framework. Residency realistically is like the most formative part of a physician's career. The habits you build here, the way you respond to pressure, the relationships you develop with work itself, all of that is being shaped every single day, whether you're conscious of it or not. And obviously, the point of this video is to make sure that you're conscious of it and everything you do is intentional and you get the most out of the experience that you possibly can. This is something you're going to have to do if you want to become a physician. And like I said, it's challenging no matter what, but you don't get extra points for suffering or being miserable. So the idea of this video is to help you guys out, to give you the information that I wish I had on the first day of residency so that you can go out and make the most of it. So the first mistake, like I alluded to, is people kind of treat it like a waiting room that, I'm just going to suffer through this period of my life and then everything's going to get better right after. You should know better by now. I mean, a lot of people feel the same way about their pre-med journey. They think once they get into medical school, everything's going to be great. Once they get medical school done and they have that MD or DO, everything's going to be great. So as you can imagine, the same thing applies to residency. Once you're done residency, I'm sorry to tell you, the world is not all sunshine and rainbows. You're still going to have a lot of challenges. So don't make the mistake of thinking that I have to suffer through this period of my life just so I can get to a point where everything is perfect. Things are going to be better in many ways, but some things are going to remain challenging and other things are going to be even more challenging than they are during residency. So your job during residency is to be intentional with every single day and making the most of it that you possibly can. It basically falls into two buckets during this period of time, whether your residency is 3 years or 7 years or whatever. There's the controllable bucket and the uncontrollable bucket, and our job is to focus on the controllable. It's obviously a very busy time. Your time is not really your own. Programs are going to tell you when you're expected to show up to work, what exams you need to do, what evaluations you need to do. All of that is uncontrollable. And in this video or podcast or whatever, I'm not really going to talk about things like study resources and the nitty gritty. We'll discuss that maybe in a different episode or video. This is more so the big picture stuff. So the best big picture framework that you want to approach it as is, what can I leave residency with and how can I milk this experience to give me what I want? The clinical competence, the skill, you're going to build that up just by the nature of being there, showing up, doing what you need to do. But it's everything else. What differentiates people who get made by residency versus those who use residency to become what they want to become is, again, building those skills. How are you handling uncertainty, managing stress, communicating under pressure, speaking to families? How are you integrating medicine into a part of your larger life rather than making it your whole life? These are all things that you have to start building in residency if you're going to be able to do it as a staff. So all of that is to say, do not make the mistake of thinking that, hey, I'm just going to focus on clinical skills here. I'm going to suffer through it. I'm not going to get my sleep. I'm not going to take care of myself. And then magically, as soon as I'm done residency, I'm going to start worrying about all those things. That is a huge mistake. Even though it's hard, you have to do it all now. Now, obviously, when you start residency, there's going to be a learning curve. It's going to feel like you are drinking from a fire hose, and that probably sounds familiar to a lot of you from medical school. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to feel incompetent. You're going to question whether you even belong. This is all completely normal. Every resident before you has felt this way, so relax. The key thing you want to do from day one is adopt a growth mindset. It sounds super cliche and lame, but it's very important. So when you mess something up, you forget to order a test, you misinterpret a result, You have to resist that urge to just spiral into criticism that, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. Everyone else is so smart. Instead, every single thing, what can I learn from this? How can I get better from this? The residents who progress the fastest and get used to it the fastest, they see every mistake as data and not evidence of inadequacy. So, one of the ways to do this that I wish I had done from day one is just keeping a learning log, even if it's just in Notion or a Google Doc, whatever. Every single day, any particular challenging cases or errors or things that didn't go the way the team was expecting. Write down what happened, what you learned, what you're going to do differently next time. The more you do this, that anxiety of not knowing, it turns into more experience and more calm. And the other thing too, you're there to learn. It's a paid internship. You're learning from people more senior to you, right? So use your senior residents, your attendings. Don't be afraid. This is your time to learn. And you're lucky you have that label of student or resident on you. In just a few short years, you're it. You are the staff. And the mistakes, obviously, at that point, have way bigger consequences. So, again, every case that you see, approach it in your mind as if you are the staff. So, do all the research you can do, up to date, whatever resource you like to use. How would I approach this case if this is my patient? My name is on the chart. It is my responsibility. Obviously, at the beginning, you're not going to have very many answers because you don't have experience, and that's okay. It's not about the right answer right now. It's just about getting in that habit of telling yourself, I am the staff. This is my responsibility. How would I act if this was my patient? And the more you do that, again, even if you had the wrong plan or the wrong assessment, that's what your seniors and your attendings are there for. You're going to learn, how did they think about this? What kind of decisions did they make? And you're going to start doing that more and more and more. You do this every single day. By the time it gets to the end of your residency, you're going to breeze through and you're going to feel like you're already staff because you've been doing it from day one. And the other thing when it comes to learning is the, flashy zebra cases that CTU obsesses over. Those are cool, but make sure that you get your bread and butter down. Managing fluids, recognizing sepsis, communicating with families, running a code if that's relevant to your specialty, benching 225 if you're an ortho. Whatever is relevant to your specialty, whatever is going to serve you throughout your career, make sure that that's second nature to you. And the only way you're going to do that is by constantly looking for opportunities to learn. Every single case is an opportunity to learn. Don't run from things because you don't know. Don't run away from procedures. Anytime a procedure is happening, hey, can I get in there? Can I watch you do this? Can I try this? The more you're present, the more opportunities you get, the more reps you get. That's how confidence is built. The books and the memorization, it's only going to take you so far. So that's the first thing. Accept that there's a learning curve. You're going to feel dumb at the beginning, totally normal. But the only way to get over that is to get your reps in and do not run from the learning opportunities. And that brings me to the second point. A lot of the times in residency and throughout med school, you're so hyper focused on your grades and your evaluations and what other people think of you and reference letters, and all of that is important, and we'll get to that. But again, this is the last opportunity in your life where you have that label of learner. And I didn't know it at the time, but I know it now as a staff physician. It's a very important label to have because it gives you free reign to learn as much as you can on somebody else's responsibility, meaning that attending physician that's supervising you, ultimately the responsibility is theirs, but you get to do all the learning, and that is actually a huge advantage. So obviously you're going to have this urge to look competent to your supervisors and avoid mistakes and just avoid drawing negative attention, which is great. You should have that in the back of your mind that you want to form relationships and all this stuff that we'll talk about. But the reality is that performative aspect, it's only going to earn you check boxes. You're only going to pass rotations with that. The whole point of residency, again, is to build the skill of becoming a physician, right? So the important thing is not just focusing on how you appear and what that's going to lead to on your evals and your grades, but again, like I mentioned, every single case is a learning opportunity. In your mind, you have to be like, I'm not a resident, I'm not a learner, I'm the staff, this is my patient, I need to figure this out. Obviously, don't make decisions and place orders without full confidence, but I'm saying get in that mindset of thinking for yourself. As soon as something gets difficult, don't just pass it off as, oh, I'll just ask my senior, I'll just ask my attending, because again, in a few years, you are that senior, you are that attending. So you have to get in the habit of just figuring shit out when it's not obvious, and that's the true skill. Anyone can memorize stuff, or in the age of AI, anyone can access information. The true skill of being a physician is using all that knowledge in the right scenario, in a particular case, putting it all together and making a decision. And the only way you're going to learn how to make that right decision is to get your reps in. Now, the next thing is managing your energy. Like I mentioned, your time is really not your own during residency. Your program basically runs your life, and that's the way it is. So, certain hours out of your day are just going to be gone. You're going to have resident responsibilities that you have to take care of that are mandatory, and that is what it is. But the choice that you do have, what is controllable, is how you manage that time outside of those mandatory things. If you're just go, go, go all the time and you don't have proper recovery, that is what leads to burnout, eventually just eroding away your baseline. It doesn't mean you need to have these crazy morning routines or whatever garbage you're seeing on social media, getting whatever exercises you can during the day, taking the stairs if that's all you can do for the day, getting your water in. These are all very important things, and people make the mistake of thinking, oh, residency is just hard right now. I'm young. I'm just going to grind through it. And then again, once I graduate residency, I'm magically going to start taking care of my health. That's not how it works. You need to take care of your health. You need to watch your diet. You need to go to the gym if you can. You need to have some kind of non medical hobby that takes your mind off of things. These are all very important. Now, obviously, week to week, certain weeks are busier than others. You might have more or less time. You're an adult. Just figure it out. You know if you're taking care of yourself or not. So, this is when you have to be really productive and make the most of your time. When you're working, work. Don't be distracted on your phone. When you have free time, stop thinking about work. Obviously, you're going to have to study with some of that free time, but once all of that is done, make sure when you're with your friends, you're fully with your friends or your family. When you're doing your hobby, you're fully engaged in your hobby. You have to check out at least a little bit. Residency is obviously naturally going to be a big part of your life, but you can't let it just overtake your life. You're not just a resident, you're a person, you're a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister. There's all these other important aspects of your life that, again, you might not have as much time for as you like, but you have to make some time for it. Otherwise, you're going to lose your mind. So, those controllable hours that the residency program does not have control over you, it is your job to be as productive as you can with them to take care of yourself and the other areas of your life. This is very important. And again, it's a skill you have to build now so that when the time comes that you're in attending, you can hit the ground running. Now, real quick, guys, I'll be honest. When I was writing this and recording this, I realized that there's actually so much more and in depth, even into all these points that I could go. It's really hard to fit it in just one video. So don't be surprised if I maybe make like a part two of this. Or what I'm thinking is I might just make like a whole ebook or guide, or maybe even a course, honestly, that if I look back, I wish they just sat me down the first day of residency and just showed me that, what would have been helpful. I might just do that. Let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in, and I can certainly work on it. If we do end up doing that, check out the website in the description below. It'll be released there. Okay, now the next thing is relationships. They matter a whole lot, no different from when you were a pre-med or a med student. Who you know in medicine, for better or for worse, does matter more than what you know. And that's just the reality of it. Again, anyone can learn the medical information from a textbook, memorizing AI, however people like to learn. It's how you apply that information. And secondly, what is never taught in school, it's literally, do people like you or do they not? Do they like working with you? Do they not? That is the stuff that decides, do people even match to a residency program? Do they become the chief resident? Do people say nice things about them? Do people help them find a job? You want to go to a desirable area to work in a hyper competitive specialty? These are the things that are going to make the difference, who you know and what they think of you. So again, day to day, don't just be like, oh, let me just go and get this day over with. Every day is an opportunity. The seniors you're working with, obviously be kind, be respectful, work hard, get to know them. Nurses, allied health, Do not ever disrespect anybody because you feel like, oh, I'm a doctor and these people are just so and so. These people are the ones the hospital runs because of them, and you'll realize their importance once you're a staff member. But nonetheless, anybody, you should be kind, respectful. That's going to decide how smoothly your days run. And trust me, word gets around how you treat people. So don't be that person that's just nice and respectful towards their attendings and a dick to everybody else because it will definitely get around and it will potentially ruin your career. So everybody you see, you should be treating them as possible future colleagues, references, mentors. These relationships that you build now, this is what's going to decide your future eventually when you're done residency. So obviously be knowledgeable, be clinically strong, but being respectful, reliable, easy to work with, that matters just as much, if not more. A lot of doors will open for you, not because you're the smartest, but because people just genuinely enjoy being around you. And this isn't about brown nosing, it's just about basic stuff, right? Be kind, be on time, be hardworking, be genuinely helpful, not just performative. And again, it's just too much to go into hyper detail about this. This will definitely require a video on its own. But for now, just remember that relationships are very important and it is an area that you need to focus on during residency. And the last thing I'll just briefly touch on is thinking beyond residency. Like I said, you want to use every day, enjoy it the best you can, but especially as you get towards the later years, you should start to think about kind of the softer side, the behind the scenes of medicine. So start talking to those attendings and seniors that you get along with well and ask them about the behind the scenes of their life. How much time do they have with their family? What do they recommend in terms of where to work, finances? Obviously, you have to gauge how comfortable people are talking to you about that stuff, but this is important because you have to decide how you want your life to look after residency. Do I want an academic job? Do I want a community job? What are the pros and cons? What's my financial situation like? How's that going to affect it? Do I want a family? Where do I want to live? All that stuff matters, and you'd be surprised. Even though medicine, I mean, you would think everywhere needs doctors, it can surprisingly be kind of hard to find a job in your desirable location. So I would not leave this to the last minute. You should start thinking about this stuff. You should start talking about this stuff to your seniors so that you have your feet under you when it's time to find your own job and see if they can help you out with that stuff. So, day to day, focus on building that clinical skill. That's the most important, the relationships. And then as you get later into residency, start thinking about how does life as a staff look and what are the behind the scenes of that. That's pretty much it, guys. Obviously, that was a very broad overview. Like I said, each of these topics probably deserve their own episode, and I'll see what I want to do with that. I mentioned the possible course or ebook before, so make sure you go to the website, check out the newsletter to stay in the loop for that. But overall, the reality is that residency is hard. I mean, it's really not controversial. It's probably harder than it needs to be, but that's a topic for another day. But it is also dense with opportunity. And like I said, there's going to be many things you can't control, but out of what you can control, if you're deliberate about it, if you're intentional about it every day, at the very least, when you're done residency, you can walk out having taken everything you could from it and being in the best position possible. That time is going to pass, but what you turn it into is largely up to you. All right, so good luck, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.